Hi, my name is Manny, and today I'm going to show you how to open up your saxophone, put it together, and get your first note out. It's going to be great, okay? So, let's start off with the case. Right now my saxophone's in the case, and I want to open it up. Okay, well let me undo the latches, but wait. If you got to open it up, make sure that the latches are, when you undo them, pointing upwards. Because if they're pointing the other way around, that means that when you open the case up, everything's going to come falling out. So you never want to open the latches when they're pointing down. That's bad. Always make sure latches are pointing up. Undo any latches you have. And then you just open up the case and voila, there's the saxophone, but it's not ready to play yet. So what do we got to do? We take the saxophone out, and we look very top where you put the neck at. There's this little thingy in there. Go ahead and take that out. You can put that aside. Inside most saxophone cases, you're going to have a little compartment for some accessories. Let's get the camera person in here. And here I got all my stuff. I got my reed, I got my mouthpiece, my neck, and I got a strap. So let's go ahead and start with the mouthpiece. My mouthpiece is inside of a little case like this, and yours probably will be too. It's got the ligature on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out like that, put the case away for safekeeping. And I see I've got my mouthpiece, but I've got no reed. So in order to get my reed, I must grab it. It's in a little holder right here. A lot of reeds are going to come in these little clear reed cases. You always make sure to want to grab by the little fat side, not the thin side, because you can chip it. Ask me how I know. I've done it. You pull it out, and before you even start using a reed and putting it on your mouthpiece, you got to make sure to get it wet. So you got to put it in your mouth, get some spit on it. It's pretty gross the first time, but you kind of get used to it. It tastes very woody. Make sure you never eat food before you touch your reed. I ate pizza before playing once, and my reed just always tastes like pizza now. Gross. Now that you got it wet enough, what you can do is you can go ahead and put it on your mouthpiece. And this is a little tricky at first. But what you got to do is you got to take your ligature off by undoing these screws right here. Pull it off, set it aside. Make sure that you got your mouthpiece so that the hole is like right here. And you want to take the flat end of your reed and place it on top. Make sure that's matching and that it's kind of right there, like matching up with the end of the mouthpiece. It's not sticking out any further. It's not crooked or any way. Make sure that's nice and even, like that. And once you've got it in place, get your ligature back on there. You can slide it on. One mistake that I was making when I first started playing the saxophone is I had my ligature just like not far up enough. And so when I would tie my ligature, or screw my ligature on, excuse me, if I can get it on here. When I'd put it on, I didn't have it on enough. What's going on here? The other way around, there we go. Make sure you put the bigger end towards the bottom. My mistake that I was making is I was putting the ligature up right here, and it was kind of overhanging on the little part where you put your teeth on. You want to slide it back as much as you can. Make sure your reed straight, adjust it if you need to. And then once you've got it all set, then you can go ahead and screw it down. And always make sure that your screws are kind of in the middle like that. Start screwing it down until it's nice and tight and start screwing in anymore. And there you go. That's like the hardest part right there. Everything else after this is really easy. So we're going to set that aside for right now. Let's open the case back up. Next, I'm going to put the neck on the saxophone. And here's my neck. This is the cork. This is what the mouthpiece goes onto. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that on the saxophone itself, this little screw right here is undone enough so that there's not very much pressure on the thing. So that way you can just slide it in like that. And for your first time, you just want to make sure that the neck is kind of parallel with the whole rest of the horn. So it's just kind of straight like that. Once you've got that set, then you can tighten that screw right there. And the neck is set in place. Now finally, we can take the mouthpiece and we can slide it onto the cork like that. If it doesn't like to go on, you can get some cork grease and put it on there, but we won't worry about that right now. Make sure that your mouthpiece is straight. You can go ahead and angle it like that and make sure that's straight. I'm going to angle it so it's parallel with everything else. And there we go. We have a saxophone together. But oh wait, it's kind of heavy. I don't want to hold it with my hands the whole time. Oh, check this out. A buddy of mine gave me this. It's a really cool neck strap. So what you do with the neck strap is you obviously put it on your neck. And then what you can do is you can use whatever clip it has and clip it onto this little ring on the back of the saxophone. Clip it on like that. Adjust it so that it's not quite pulling your neck down, but that enough so that when you're playing, you don't have very much pressure on your hands and fingers, and especially your thumb down here, because my thumb will hurt after a while sometimes if I don't have proper support. So once you got it all set, what you do is you want to take the mouthpiece into your mouth, curl your lip over your bottom teeth like that, and make sure your top teeth are exposed, and kind of spread your lips a little bit and put your teeth right on the top of the mouthpiece right here. And once you've done that, make sure that you're not too far up on the mouthpiece. You're not going, and you put your whole mouth into it. Not only is that gross and weird, but when you do that, it's going to affect your tone negatively, and it's going to make you sound really like honky and wah wah. So it's okay to take just a little bit of mouthpiece and read into your mouth, like even that much. Like that's just like a couple, millimeters? Just a little bit, and put pressure with your bottom lip, and kind of bite down, and then just go. And make sure to be focusing the air right there, right into the mouthpiece. And once you've got that down, you can start playing notes. Now, obviously, make sure that you take deep breaths before you take any kind of air into the horn, to make sure that you have a steady, constant note that doesn't wiggle around like that. So if I don't take enough air, I go. But if I breathe, and that's about all you need to know to get your first sound out of your saxophone.